Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 87th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're talking all about how to change the narrative. But before we dive deep into the subject, we have a couple of things to go over. Have you subscribed to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, or even via email? If not, please do so by going to WokeNFree.com so you could subscribe away. Next, have you shared an episode with friends or family? If not, this is a really, really important episode that we would love for you to share because it is going to transform your life and hopefully the lives of many of your loved ones. Next, have you hollered at us on social media? If not, if you want to talk to us about your thoughts or an upcoming episode or even breaking news, you can easily find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at WokeNFree. And then lastly, have you reviewed the show? If not, you could totally give us your feedback, review our show on any of the platforms you'll find us on, such as iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, or any of the other platforms you see at WokeNFree.com.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week, we shared, how do you take your coffee? This week, we're sharing, which meal plan option do you use more often? Meal delivery or drive-thru?
Oh, sorry, I was just sleeping. What was that? What kind of question is that, Khalil?
A really good one.
I mean, obviously, guys, we love the fruits and vegetables, but we get down with a bit of drive-thru probably more often than we should. So my answer would probably be drive-thru because at this point, we haven't totally gotten off the American beat of enjoying the fast food way of life. But what do you have to say?
I definitely agree that since we are Americans, we do drive-thru more often. At least at this point, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Doing the American thing with the drive-thru fast food style.
We're going to make a change. We're going to make a change, guys.
Yeah. We definitely need to.
True.
Well, maybe you can talk about what does change the narrative actually mean?
I'm so glad that you asked that, honey bun.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a campaign that you wanted to start based on some of the experiences, I don't know, that we've been dealing with all through our lives. Yes.
I wanted to start this?
Yes, you wanted to start this. Remember?
I don't remember, but you can remind me. This is amazing. I didn't know I wanted to start this one.
It's amazing, guys. Well, you wanted to start it because we were having a conversation about fraudulence and lies and overextension and over asking and overbearing people that we know in our lives, near and dear to us and not so much, and people that just seem to struggle with learning how to treat others with kindness, how to treat others with a level of respect, also having healthy boundaries. So essentially changing the narrative is a conversation we wanted to start here, and it's going to be an ongoing thing whether we bring on guests or create content around this, of where we want everyone to join us here on this episode, on social media, on WokeNFree Reports, by discussing essentially the following. Changing the narrative means we need to learn how to treat each other better, whether you know them or not, whether you're related to them or not, whether they are, you don't know them from Boo. Treat each other kindly and respectfully. Also, educating and or re-educating ourselves about the difference between love and abuse, right? Love is love and anything else is not love. So tough love isn't tough love. It's called discipline. Like let's keep it 100. Yes. And this was something that I didn't know growing up, and I've now recognized love is not hurtful. Love is not painful. These are other things that are taking place. Now it might happen in a quote unquote relationship with someone that you love, but abuse abuse is not love. Those are separate concepts. So
that's not showing the other person you love them when you beat them.
Nope.
Like, I'm doing this to help heal you.
Because I love you. Nope.
This is going to help you out in life.
This is abuse.
This is not love.
And that is not love. So love is love and anything else is different. And let's just keep it 100 with each other. Yes, it's different. Next, healthy boundaries with our loved ones specifically. Now, we could be talking about friends, family, anything in between that. But, no is no. Asking people to put their moral compass in a fire pit to help this person is not okay. It never has been okay, no matter when this overbearing behavior or habit started. It's not okay. We have to have healthy boundaries with parents. We have to have healthy boundaries with loved ones, our significant others, our friends. We've got to be able to say what is okay and what is not okay. And I think that is a line that has been crossed many, many, many times in so many of our lives. Next, we need to learn how to speak and think in a way that manifests the life we want for ourselves. So what are things not to say? What are things to say? Really breaking that down and changing the narrative of even how we communicate within our minds.
So you mean no self-deprecating humor kind of stuff?
Yes, right. Like none of that. None of I can't and the what if I fail and the anything The Secret would slap you in the book with. Like, nope. We've got to change the narrative. And also how to get out of our own way. What are things that we're doing that literally create obstacles? How can we change that narrative? And then also, I would say, or add to this, is learning how to handle crisis differently, right? And that really speaks to some of the things that happen globally, right? When we have certain things happen in this world, who's paying attention, who's not paying attention, how are we how are we helping each other, right? Things like that. How are we dealing with crisis? Let's change the narrative so that it's more palatable for all of us as we are part of the human race.
But there are some crises that take precedence over world hunger and poverty, like a building being destroyed. You got to make sure that building is, intact.
Exactly.
That comes first.
See the WokeNFree report, the last WokeNFree report, and
that comes first. Poverty comes later.
So we all matter. The human race is one people, and we all
buildings
matter.
That's
what I said. Yes, buildings matter all over the world. Not just in one place.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting way to put it.
Yes.
Definitely.
One race, one world, one life. Right? Let's act in unison. Let's act with a sense of appreciation and care and compassion for all, not just some people.
Well, you mentioned a lot of different things about
change the narrative. Change the narrative.
There's a lot of definitions under there that you mentioned.
Yes.
I think one other thing that I just like to add is about, when I think of it, I think of it as like changing how other people view yourself. So changing the narrative can also mean like, hey, I'm not just this child anymore. I'm a grown adult. It can mean that. I mean, in that sort of sense.
Yes.
Or it can mean like, I'm not the student anymore. I'm actually the teacher. When students surpass their teachers in terms of knowledge, or they teach them something that they never knew about.
Indeed.
Like, I think it can also encompass that sort of thing. So
absolutely,
it's being seen in a different light.
Exactly. Now, why do you think people need to change the narrative, given your experiences in life and maybe even some of the things we just talked about?
Well, I think one of the good things that come from it would actually be, I think changing the narrative is a way to like stop others from bullying people into doing things you don't want to do. There's no more guilt trip kind of thing to get people to listen to you and make them feel sorry for you. All that goes out the window, because now it's more about the person.
Yeah.
They say why it's right for them. They're not building their character based off of expectations. You're building it because this is who you are. You get to stay true to yourself.
Yes, authenticity.
And I think that's easier too. It's a lot less stressful when people are trying to put on these personas for other people just to not let them get down. It's easier just to be yourself in life instead of trying to be something you're not. So changing the narrative will de-stress your life, I think, is one thing.
Hashtag change the narrative, guys. Yes. Absolutely. I completely agree. I think you and I have both experiences where people have spoken to us in ways that maybe we disagree with. Also, where we're put in situations not of our own accord and not of our own liking. And I think that needs to stop. I think we have to change the narrative as to how people treat each other, because life is made to be much more harder, more uncomfortable, and a lot less enjoyable than it really needs to be. Because people refuse to change the narrative as to how do we speak to each other, how do we treat each other, how do we view each other, how do we love on each other, right? These are things that can be changed. They're not fixed in the mud, stuck in cement. We can change it. I don't care if you're 2 or 202. We can all change. And I think it would really add a lot. I love that you said authenticity, but I think it also adds a lot of freedom. Like, I think people feel so confined with, like, what you're saying, like being this one person, because if they're someone else or they're themselves, then other people get upset. Other people try to step on them.
And they're like, why are you doing this?
Yes.
Why are you doing this to me?
why don't you love me? And this whole, well, why don't I love me to be me? Right? Like, we've got to free ourselves. I think we owe it to ourselves to be as free as possible and to not feel as hurt as people constantly do, which is why people bully, because hurt people hurt others, right? Like, it's a cycle.
Do on to others that was done to you. It's just like that type of thing going on.
Absolutely.
Now, what are the challenges with changing the narrative?
So I think most people view change as difficult. Not that it is. It's just, if you follow The Secret, guys, and we've talked about The Secret on the podcast. So if you don't know what we're talking about, check out a previous episode at WokeNFree.com. And essentially, things or thoughts, right, become things. So if you believe something is difficult, then ding, 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 you are the winner of things are difficult. And if you want that for yourself, again, live that truth and be as miserable as you like, or change the narrative and start to look at change as glorious growth.
Yeah, definitely growth.
Growth and glory in the malleability of our lives and our feelings and our emotions. And you have to embrace that, right? And not resist it, because it's easier. It's easier not to change, because if you don't change, then you can comfortably remain a negative curmudgeon. You can comfortably remain an abuser. You can comfortably remain as a dictator, as incompetent, as ignorant, right? Whatever title is kind of a part of your identifier, you can stay in that and live in that space because you know that space. That's who you are. But if you dare to do something different, like change, then you kind of you can fear it, you can resist it, because you don't know where that's going. You don't know where that path leads to. But it's a path that leads to glory and growth and the beyond. And I think it's something that we all can do, with steps that are smaller and lead into bigger steps and bigger leaps and beyond. And also, I want to mention that people like to rationalize bad behavior. And if you are enforcing change, then you can't rationalize the bull anymore. And so, for instance, a couple of statements, right? Love hurts. Does it really, though? Does it really?
Does love actually hurt, or is it those other things that are causing the hurt?
Like, there's a thin line between love and hate. Is it really, though?
See, that I prefer, though, that statement, because look what that's saying, though. At least that's saying love or hate. It's not combining them. Because people try to combine and say tough love, and that's where it gets interesting. It's like, is that really love still? But the thin line between love and hate is like, because one moment you're being loved, and then the second you're being hated on.
But it's a scary notion to think that love, but it's also putting it on kind of an equal a pedestal, which is scary to think that love is the same as hate. Because,
well, I mean, how can you're saying you're not, one's great, which one's greater than the other?
Well, love, according to The Secret, love is a greater emotion and a greater.
It says it's greater. Because I thought emotions were all emotions and they're all on the same level.
But in the
you can experience
how much
you
law
want.
Of attraction, love is supposed to be more powerful and it's supposed to be more compelling than hate. But that's under the law of attraction, right? So it's.
I don't know if everyone's going to agree with that one in terms of.
I mean, I think we would live a healthier life if we valued and put love on a higher. If we make love and hate the same, then it makes it harder for us as people and as a society. If love is greater, then we could try to crush and defeat hatred. But if it's the same, then those are two ugly cousins. I mean,
then you just need more of the love to take over the hate. Stop hating and start loving, since they're both on the same playing field. But if love is, because just think about it, if it is greater, then it should crush hurt. It should crush hate without even thinking about it, because it's so much greater.
It should, but the problem is
it just rolls over.
We don't live in singularity, right? We're so complex, and so we can equally love and hate something, and then in theory you're not supposed to be able to, like, under the law of attraction. distraction or under the secret. So it's a very convoluted, kind of murky. We can talk about it. We can definitely talk about that.
Interesting.
You know, is there a thin line between love and hate? I mean,
I don't know to say that the love well, I guess it's hard. I mean, love helps us with survival and everything because you need that, but is it really that much stronger than hate? I mean, hate can... And when you say hate, is fear a separate category? Because there's fear... Or those are separate, I guess, emotions.
Yeah, those
fear
are technically
and hate.
separate.
See, but that's why... I don't know. It's
interesting,
I think of them, they're all on the flat... They're like in the pool with each other. And some can rise above the other. Some fall to the bottom because you don't need them. And then some rise to the top. That's how I feel. They can... But I feel that, like, they can get onto the same level. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I think they definitely can get there.
Listen, this is the beauty of Woke and Free. Every subject we talk about leads to another question and another episode.
That's interesting.
So we definitely got to have the conversation go that way as well. Just a couple more things to add in the space of what rationalized bad behavior is. Another statement that you may have heard, guys, is family is everything. Is it really? When they also bring you more harm than good? Is it everything? Is it really more than enough than you need?
Well, what if you have a family of illegal drug and arms dealers? Or that's a good family because they're providing for you.
Again, that's a whole other separate subject, right? Doing criminal acts for the greater good.
Well, I mean, it's technically for the greater bad, but it's for the good of your family.
Exactly.
It's not the greater good.
Whose lives do you value more? Your family or the greater public? See, more potential topics to discuss, and actual reality that people are dealing with.
Definitely.
And then also, the person's just having a bad day. Is that an excuse or a justification, right? And are you really having a bad day or are you having a bad moment? Right? Like, we gotta just change the narrative, change how we think about things. Why do you have to have a bad day? Why can't you just have a bad 5 minutes?
Oh, you think that's elongating the issue?
Yeah.
Because then you could say I'm having a bad week, right?
Yeah, I'm having a bad month. I'm having a bad year. I'm having a bad 10 years. Like,
now, once you get over year, you have a problem, though. I mean,
you have a problem once it's a bad day.
But using the day, that's the start to it, though. It could lead up to more.
A day
just
could
build
be
on that.
3, could be 7, could just... I'm having a bad moment that I'm working through, and let's get solution focused, not problem based. Like, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, don't get to that bad year because that's not.
And
good.
I've heard people say that.
This
definitely. Was a bad year.
And people say that.
Change the narrative. # change the narrative. # change the narrative. Gotta switch it up.
So you can't say terrible things come in threes or something? Because I know
and
people have those weird sayings.
When it rains, it pours.
So that's all
the power of 3.
Factors.
Listen, are we charmed witches? Like, what are we talking about, guys? Let's manifest goodness. Let's stop manifesting plight and famine and starvation. Like, let's change the narrative. # change the narrative.
I think another challenge is just that people don't want to hurt other people's feelings when they set up a boundary. They don't want to set it up, and then this person's gonna be all sad and saying, "How could you do this to me?" That's also a concern. It's like, how can I set up a boundary and change my narrative without hurting the other person and making them feel bad? How can I make it still about me and not it be about them? That's the thing. So that's a definite challenge. So
that's the thing. And so even Oprah, shout out to Oprah, she has said she has learned that on her journey of success that she had to divorce some people. That she had to divorce some family members. She had to divorce some friends. That's a great question that you raised. Can you change your narrative without hurting other people's feelings? The simple answer is no.
Yeah, it's definitely a no.
The simple answer is no, but that's okay, because are you living for your friends and family, or are you living for you? You've got to choose you. If you're not choosing you for your life, who the hell are you choosing?
But then, so what people do is they feel bad because they're like, am I a bad person because I'm not caring for others?
You're a bad person if you're not caring for you.
It's like, well, it brings back that airplane situation when it's going down. You got to put your mask on before you put on any others. Because how can you help others if you don't help yourself first?
Exactly.
Because it's like you'll spiral out of control and then you bring everybody else down with you.
Yep.
And they thought they could rely on you because you appeared to be all great and happy. You loved doing everything for them. But then it realized, it's not working out.
Yeah, and this is why people go and hang themselves in closets. Like, this is why people are killing themselves. This is why people have alcoholism and drug abuse, because on the surface,
it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, they're totally fine. They're happy giving away their fortune. They're happy giving away everything they have. They're happy putting themselves second, third, and 10th. But eventually, that crap bubbles up, and they no longer want to live, and they no longer have anything to live for, because everyone is come and taken taken and taken and taken until there's nothing left to take. And that's when that person realizes this was not the life I intended for myself. Let's not get there. Change the narrative. Hashtag change the narrative, guys.
You are now listening to WokeNFree.
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 A podcast that gets real and personal.
How will people benefit from actually changing the narrative then?
Freedom. I think that's the biggest thing. I think one of the ways to live woke and free, woohoo, is to be awakened as to who you are, what do you want out of this life, and to free yourself from abuse, from horror, from fear, from madness, from hatred, from the inability to not be able to forgive, to free yourself to be your authentic self in this world. That is a part of living woke and free.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the good benefits, and people often complain, is that they feel like they have a lack of control of their life.
Yes.
So I think when you change a narrative, you can gain back some semblance of control now.
Absolutely.
Now you can actually make decisions like, wow, actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Europe. I didn't think I was going to do it before because, I had to make sure everybody else is taken care of.
Jesus.
But now that you're changing it and you're saying, I'm taking control, it's like I'm taking my life back. You decided that. Then you can go and you can travel. You can do what you want now.
Absolutely.
You can go learn how to parasail and everything.
You can be,
it really helps you just find out who you are and be your true self, right?
Absolutely. When you're saying this, I start to hear like, I'm every woman, but more in the like,
I'm every woman.
I'm every person, or I, me, all day, every day. And it's also like, you can just, free yourself from this notion of victimization, right? What you're talking about, which is, stop acting like you're a passenger in the drive of your life. Like, you are the driver, baby. Like, you are the driver. Whether you're driving the automatic or the manual, you are driving the hell out of your life. So you better figure out what road you're going on and what vehicle you're driving and make the story as great as it can be. Stop acting like you have no control, because when you allow hatred and horror and madness and fear and sadness to take hold of your life, whose fault is that? Is that Joe? Is that Aunt Mare?
Yeah.
Listen.
That's what people do. You blame everybody in your life.
All my life.
Yeah.
But
everybody else is causing it. Yeah.
Yep. And you know what we have to say, Woke and Free Nation? I don't know if you're joking or if you're smoking.
That's what we say.
But you better find your rabbit ass minds.
Oh, all right.
And get woke and free, guys. You better get woke and free.
That's a good tip.
Yes.
That's a good woke and free tip. I think they're going to take that to heart.
Oh, dearest. Well, how can people change their narrative? Hashtag change the narrative.
I think like a real actual practical step would definitely be to write down how you want to be treated. Write down how people are treating you and how do you actually want them to treat you now? Like make it like a parent what you want and where you're at right now, so you know what your goal is. I'd say do that. And then you technically could take that stuff and kind of add that to your vision board even. I don't know if you do vision boarding, but adding it into your vision board, seeing who you really are, like, maybe putting places you want to visit, things you want to do, putting that on your vision board.
Yes.
I think that's a great step to like changing the narrative and getting to where you want to be. It really gets things out there instead of just in your mind, like putting it down and making it material and real. That helps.
You mean you said it just out only inside your mind?
Yeah, because I don't know how many times I said it in my mind, but I felt like I said it so many times in my mind.
Rabbit ass minds.
And people should know what's in my mind.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord.
They have to, right?
Oh, Flagstaff. Shout out to the Browns, the sister wives. Yes. So my tips, guys. I always have several tips.
30,000, you mean?
It's hard to be me. It's
people have to get out their notebooks now to write down.
You better start taking notes. Yep.
Yeah.
First step is I think you have to be willing to have a conversation, right? Before you even get down to writing what we're like, you have to, and whether this is a conversation.
You believe conversation comes
well,
first.
I think for me, I think it's a conversation of self, right? And if it depends. Like, I think first you have to start with yourself, and say, and so that leads to your step, which is writing things down. But you need to look inward and say, hey Tasha, hey Boo, how do you feel right now? I feel, and fill in the blank, right? Do you feel dismayed? Do you feel saddened? Do you feel destroyed? What do you feel, right? And then follow right through what you're suggesting, which is what exactly is causing the issues? What are you struggling with? And who are you having these obstacles with, right? Who are the challenging people in your life? And then, by listening to this episode, which is another really great step, which is joining a public conversation about this, then what do you have to do? Then you have to spread awareness, hashtag change the narrative, guys, change the narrative. And then start having conversations with these people who you need to change the narrative with, right? So maybe it's a significant other, maybe it's a family member, maybe it is an overbearing friend, maybe it's a business partner, right? Like depending upon who and what faces these people represent in your life.
What if it's a child?
Yeah, maybe it's your child running you ragged, and you have to say, listen, you need to find your rabbit ass mind. And and we need to change the narrative as to how you speak to me. This 2-year-old running the world nonsense has got to stop. I've heard too many stories of infants running things and they don't pay mortgage, they don't pay rent, they don't pay no electric bills. It's blowing my mind. Wow. And I don't understand it. We have to change the narrative. 2-year-olds can't run the world, guys. Can't. I mean, we already have problems in our White House. We just, listen. We can't. We got to change the narrative. So I think it's that. And then I think what I would also love to add to people is that this WokeNFree path is not necessarily something that's going to happen today and you're going to be done, right? Like, ooh, I just got WokeNFree today and I'm done. No, like you're going to have to work at this and you're going to falter, right? You might set up a healthy boundary and then you forget and somebody kind of penetrates the wall and you have to build that section right back up, but you have to keep pushing and you have to remember it. So I love your idea about putting it visually on your vision board or somewhere you can witness this every day, like kind of like your testimony to yourself, your 10 commandments of how the hell you're living this world, because otherwise you might fall back into bad habits and then start, kind of living a life that's less than what you deserve. So be committed, be honest with yourself, and hella execute. Just execute like Terminator style. And yeah, you're going to have to divorce some friends and family. Wow. Sucks to be you. Like, get out my life, right? If you're not for me, you're against me. That's how I know it's a little, only Sith Lords speak in absolutes, but shout out to Star Wars. But nonetheless, when it comes to choosing you have to be really, really laser focused on that. That's not malleable in any way. It's choose you and that's it. You, and everything has to fit within that. And if it doesn't, c'est la vie, au revoir, it's been real, goodbye.
Wow. Mm-hmm. A lot of information going on there.
I hope you took notes, guys.
Hopefully they can implement that. It seems like a lot of change there.
I love it though, because don't you feel like for us as well in our journey as being WokeNFree, as growing and learning what we don't like, that you've really enjoyed kind of cutting out the crap?
Yeah.
Okay then. Real simple.
I'd say a little bit at a time though. I don't think it's like change everything. It's you change little things
in
at
stages,
a time as
absolutely.
you go.
Absolutely.
So it's not a culture shock for you and
the entire world.
Yeah. Kind of like build it up. You don't just like go from 0 to 100.
Well, I'm a 0 to 100 kind of gal, and I'm a Virgo, so I'm just like cut, and keep it moving, and I enjoy and smile along the way.
Virgos like to do that, though.
Goodbye.
It's definitely a Virgo trait.
Bye. It's been so nice.
There's no ramp or anything.
We just have to run and jump. That's it. La la.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Megan's life got turned upside down when she was sent to live with her auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Upon arriving, she finds that they are very demanding and controlling, intruding on even personal parts of her life. Does Megan need to change the narrative?
Yeah, leave Bel Air. And go find Will Smith to see how he did.
Wow.
When he was Prince of Bel Air.
Oh, all right. So, is that where that is? Yes. That's where that is. That's weird. Why did she go there then? Why is there affiliation with this
Because she wanted to give you a good story for scenario 1.
Come on now. I don't know. I think it's just a happenstance, possibly.
I'm just that smart, huh?
It's a happenstance. She's moving with her auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
I love how you had to read it that way, too. Like, you, wrapped it. Amazing. Okay, guys. So again, this is a classic example. It's a perfect scenario. She has a change in her life, right? But it seems like it's a change that maybe isn't exactly what she wanted it to be. So what does she have to do? I think to change the narrative, she needs to sit down with her auntie and uncle and, maybe have a glass of lemonade and really lay things out. Like, start from a place of gratitude. I'm really grateful that you're giving me this opportunity to live with you, to give me these opportunities to have better access to education and career opportunities, ... However, for this to be a fruitful experience for all parties involved, I think, these are things that she's finding troubling with, right? That's the kind of conversation she needs to have and share her thoughts. And maybe they're receptive to it and maybe they're not.
Hopefully.
And if they're not, then what she needs to do is save up her Bel Air money and then proceed to live on her own when the opportunity arises and it's a safe and healthy decision for her to make. But hopefully her auntie and uncle are, very like chill and they're cool in some way or form. I forget how they were in the show. So
the show. All right, come on. We're talking about Megan here. We didn't mention a guy. This is a whole different person.
Yeah, you
whole
changed
different universe.
it because it's the Me Too movement. Yeah, I know.
The Me Too movement. Come on now.
What are your thoughts on what Megan has to do in her fancy life in Bel Air?
I think in the past, I would have said she needs to deal with it, but now I'd say she probably does need to voice her opinion and let them know. She should actually let them know what's going on because maybe they don't even realize they're being demanding and controlling and they're intruding. They might just think that they care about her.
Exactly.
Because remember how people mix that up, love and then
love is
privacy?
Abuse. Love is love has no privacy.
Yeah, they think that I love you so much that I'm gonna have to do this and they're gonna be all in your life.
Yeah,
and
be
I'm
up
gonna
in your pocket all day, every day.
And I'm gonna be controlling because that's what it's a part of. But it doesn't have to be that. So maybe you just gotta talk to them and let them know that's how you feel. Maybe they didn't realize they're coming off like that. So it might be an easy conversation. You never know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think you should voice your opinion though. That's definitely the better way to go.
Cool.
Scenario 2. Sarah's old college friend crashed with her after they graduated because she could not get a job and Sarah already had a great offer from a new car manufacturer. Her college friend has been with her for 2 years and all she does is ask for Sarah to drive her around to see other friends while she continues to take odd jobs here and there. Is it time for Sarah to change the narrative?
Oh, hells yeah. What? I'm getting pissed. Oh, hells no. What, Sarah? Okay, Sarah. Well, listen. Sarah, you have been quite the, that's like a stellar friend move. 2
isn't that
years?
Nice? She's helping her out. Yeah, she feels bad for her.
And this chick ain't paying no rent or nothing. She don't buy no groceries.
She doesn't have money. She buys some groceries. She'll do that, but that's about it. She can't pay rent. She doesn't have a consistent job.
Oh, and whose fault is that? Okay, excellent.
But she has her friend to lean on for help.
See, yeah. Friends are everything, guys. Friends are everything.
It is. It's for Sarah's friends, it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
She gets the
for
crash
Sarah's
at her.
friend, yeah. She is everything to her. So Sarah has to change the narrative because I think Sarah, after she comes home from a long day at her job, where she's making money to pay for the roof above their head, is going to probably feel a certain kind of way about her friend asking her to always drive her to see other friends. 2 years down the road, then she probably shouldn't have been with her. She probably should have left maybe 2 months, not 2 years.
Wow, you said 2 months only.
Maybe 6 months if it's a rough economy right now and she's not hustling and not getting creative enough.
Of course she is.
But so I think Sarah needs to have a conversation with her. Again, come from a place of love. I adore you for and I have really enjoyed our friendship. However, I think our friendship is being affected by you continuing to live here and not paying bills. And I really would love for you to be able to, and give her the list of what she needs. Either her friend can stay with her, but needs to ante up in how much she's supporting the bills, and or if she's really done and is like, get out, give me that red top, boo, get out.
Wow.
Then give her a timeline. You have 3 months to leave, or I'll call the police because you will now be trespassing on premises. And that's where I'm at. I'm always like, I will call the police, and you do
At least buy her a tent or something.
Excuse me?
Give her something to live in on the street.
That she could buy from herself from Walmart? Yeah.
No, but she needs to get some new sneakers when she leaves. Because how's she going to get to her place?
Is Sarah's friend an orphan? Does she not have anyone else in this world
This
that
is,
she can...
it's kind of like she chose her as her dependent now. Sarah's friend
that's
become her
nice.
dependent because
Well, you know
she's
what?
kept her for so long.
But Sarah can also choose to uncheck that box and no longer be that dependent. And
She's going to lose that tax benefit, I guess.
yeah, unfortunately. But she'll also get all the room back in her apartment.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah, no, life goes on.
All right.
And your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to come up with a plan, meaning if she doesn't pay this amount of money within this amount of months, she's got to find a new place. I think that's a good idea, actually. Just give her kind of a last demand. And if she can't meet that, then she's going to have to go because she's draining you too much.
Yeah, and you can say a prayer with her. Absolutely.
But you just explained to her, you can't do it anymore. It's just costing her too much. You're trying to build your wealth, and instead you're paying for another person that you didn't know you were going to pay for.
Yeah,
and you can be like, we can still be friends even if you're not living here. You can let her know that.
Explain, again, come from a place of love. I love you as my friend. I've always enjoyed our time together. However, and that's where the story changes a little bit. And that's okay. Definitely. And that's okay. And if her friend rejects her for this or doesn't want to be her friend, then you know why she was friends with her in the first place. So
yeah, that's true.
It is what it is.
Scenario 3. Ladaska's sisters are heavy into partying and don't care when they hit their credit limit. Every time that time of the month comes around when the bill is due, they ask Ladaska to help them cover the minimum payment. It's that time again. Should Ladaska give them the cash to get them out of the rut, or should she change the narrative?
You need to share your scenarios with Dr. Phil. He had a similar segment.
Oh, did he?
The show.
Wow, that's a good one.
Oh,
really? Wow.
Shout out to Dr. Phil.
That's cool. I haven't seen many of his episodes. I've seen a couple. But...
Oh, no, you would have no interest in watching that.
Right. Don't speak of me like that. Don't speak of me like that.
I'm speaking highly of you.
I like many things.
It's like, well, do you have a great interest in watching Jerry Springer? I mean, like, no.
I've gotten over that. I mean
thankfully the show is no longer with us.
Yeah,
right?
I've gotten over that craze.
Yeah. No. Wow, Ladaska? Okay.
Yes.
Is she from Alaska?
She's the Daska.
Gotcha.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
So again, this is definitely a hashtag change the narrative moment. So yes, she loves her sisters. Yeah, she cares for her sister's well-being. However, Ladaska is not her sister's bank account. Ladaska is not a slave, nor is she someone who's not deserving of financial well-being. So she simply needs to sit down with them, come from a place of love. I love you, sisters. I'm so happy that you have such a vibrant societal presence when you go out and you enjoy yourselves. However, it is your responsibility as adults on this planet to be able to afford your outings. And if you can't afford it, then you can't go outside. And that's simply how it works as an adult. And so they need to, set up a payment plan to pay her back what she is owed, rightfully so. And then going forward, set up a healthy boundary that says, you may never ask me for money because you have no understanding of financial well-being. And they should turn to Dave Ramsey and read some of his wonderful books that could enlighten her sisters on what exactly it means to have financial well-being in society.
So that's what she could do. Instead of paying these credit bills, she could buy them these Dave Ramsey books and other financial books.
She could. I mean, I'm a little salty about her spending more money towards these people who obviously have no care and regard for her. But at the bare minimum,
this is the last thing I'm going to buy for you, and this will be a great investment.
She could give them
it's my first investment towards your financial freedom.
She could give them, access or get them into the Susie Orman classes on financial planning and stuff like that. But yeah, never shall she ever give them money even on her deathbed. Hell's no is the answer.
Or if they say that their credit card bill is coming up and it needs to be paid.
Well, they should have great conversations with those companies. That's what they should do.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts, like I was saying, I think she should just lead them down the right road for financial freedom. That might help.
By choice, not obligation. Right?
No, yeah. She's just going to tell them what they should do, and she needs to stop paying that credit card bill.
Absolutely.
She should give them warning, though, so they don't go and max it out thinking it's going to be paid. It should be like,
absolutely.
She paid the last bill, all right, she got screwed, she should... For the next thing after that, you need to tell them, I'm not paying any of your bills again. Like, you guys got to get together. If you spend up all your credit, you're not going to have any money. Therefore, you're not going anywhere. because you can't write IOUs. That doesn't work anymore.
I know.
So
they can enjoy free activities. There's tons of free activities in this world. They can walk on the side of the highway. They can do whatever they want.
All right, they can go to the park. Oh, come on,
they can go to the beach that are free. The beaches that are free.
If they can walk there,
they can walk there. Yep.
Because that's gonna be a little tough. I mean, the beach. I mean, there may be some beaches.
They can learn a talent and perform it on the streets.
Oh, that's smarter. They could actually earn their living. Yeah, like they do like jazz flute or something. So yeah, you came up. That's even a better idea. I would tell them if you go to the subway, you could perform your jazz flute.
Oh God!
I would say that you could do that. And someone could learn the saxophone. They can start a band.
They can do a making the band.
Well, no, you can.
Do you know how expensive that is?
Yeah, but you can go and get a used one.
Get it on credit, right?
No, go to Craigslist. That's a great place to start.
Oh God.
Craigslist.
I just see your sister.
Facebook. They sell items.
Horrible conversations with loan sharks in like dark corners.
No, don't do any of that. You came up with a great idea. No, you came up with a great idea. They can perform on the street. Not as streetwalkers though.
Okay, this conversation is definitely needed to change.
Well, yeah, you got to make sure you tell them to do legal activities though. Only do legal activities. Don't sell drugs or anything. You're not pharmacists. Unless they go to school to become pharmacists.
And get more credit. Yep.
Yeah, they could go into debt for that. That might be better. I mean, it's an idea. It's better than them just partying all night. Come on.
Or maybe they can just get men who can pay for them. They can become, what's that called?
A good one. Sugar daddies?
They can find sugar daddies as
you can go on those sites too.
That is a whole other episode we need to talk about too.
That's true, yeah. That's all other. There's a lot into that. I don't think people know a lot about it.
I'd love to interview a sugar daddy. Do they do public
Of course they do.
I would love
they do that all the time. They love to talk about it.
WokeNFree
anonymously.
Nation, if you know of a sugar daddy who would love to share their experiences on the show, please put that in the comments.
And you're talking about the sugar though, or did you want the daddy?
I would be interested in talking with both, but
the
daddy, the guy
I never heard from them actually.
Who wants to just pay for someone's company. That's so interesting to me. Like, I really want to know that experience and like, what are they getting out of that? Like, how do they not feel used and abused?
You get somebody who will hang on your every word and thought.
But they're only doing it because they're getting paid.
Take that part out of it. Just imagine that's not happening. Think of it like a video game that you're playing. You're not really there. You're not really driving around the city doing mayhem. You're like, it's an experience. It's almost like going to a play or an opera. Think of it like that.
You're a lunatic.
A sugar daddy, it's like that. That's probably what they think of it. It's like enjoying the finer things in life.
Oh my God, please stop.
Come on, you're laughing, but people do this. You go to plays, it's just like you watch people perform on. Oh, it's like that. You're a part of the play. You're a part of the performance, and you're not even performing. You're just being yourself. See how crazy that is? You can pay somebody else.
But they paid a hell of admission to see that performance.
Yeah, you paid a lot to be in this performance where you don't have to perform, but the other person has to go above and beyond. And you don't even
get a playbill after. You don't get nothing.
You don't need that. You just get a bill. You get a plain old bill.
You get another bill.
You get a plain old bill. You get a plain old bill. That's what you get. This
conversation went all different kinds of ways.
That's really changing the narrative there.
Hashtag change the narrative. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a definite change up there.
I can't with you right now. Yes, we are. At that time again, this was the hell of an episode. So coming to the end of our 87th episode of WokeNFree.
Goody.
And this was quite the episode talking about how to change the narrative. And will I leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we will be discussing, does fairness exist in marriage? Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation. And make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you want to be a guest on the show, please submit a topic for an upcoming episode or share how you feel on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. We're very active on social media, so you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at WokeNFree. And then if you would like to sponsor an upcoming episode, you can also contact us on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokeNFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.